Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to give you guys a little bit of an intro to the Hot Wheels lab. So in case you're not here in person, you'll understand kind of what's going on in the lab. First of all, we've got a little Hot Wheel right here. Hey, this Hot Wheel has a string attached to it. That string at the very end of it, hey, there is a paper clip. Hey, and essentially what we're doing in the lab is we're investigating two different variables. The first variable we're going to look at is we're going to see how force affects the acceleration of the car. So how we're going to do that is, first of all, we need to know the mass of this car. So I've got a little digital balance here. Okay, I'm going to mass my car, okay, on that digital balance. Okay, and in a second, or on my second video, I'll show you guys the data that we collected. So I'm just going to kind of give you the lowdown of what we're actually doing in the lab. Okay, so I've got the mass of my car. Okay, I'm going to record that on my data sheet. And now I set my car up with one washer on the end of my paper clip. Okay, right now as it's sitting here, okay, there are some forces that are on this car. Okay, so first of all, okay, I'm going to drop the washer off the edge a little bit, but I'm going to hold the car in place. Okay, so right now the forces that are on the car are balanced, right? We've got the force of gravity down on the car, and then we have the support force of the table up on the car, right? So that's why the car isn't moving up and down in space. Okay, then we have a pull. Okay, that pull is the applied force that's on the car. Okay, and that pull is due to the string being attached to the car and the washer dangling over the edge. Okay, and then we have a frictional force and also the force of my hand holding onto the car that's keeping it in place. So right now, all the forces are balanced on the car, it's not moving. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my meter stick, okay, to measure how quickly the car travels a set distance. Okay, so I'm going to release my car. Okay, it's going to move along, okay, this path. Okay, and when it gets to the end, I'm going to stop the timer. Okay, and so I'll show you the data I collected on that in just a second. Okay, then I add a second washer. Okay, so now I'm increasing the force that's on the car. So when I increase the force on the car, we want to find out what effect does that have on the acceleration. Okay, so if I increase this pull, how will acceleration be affected? So I let go, whoop, okay, and when it gets to the very end, I would stop the timer. Okay, then I go back and I would do the same thing, this time with 3 washers and then with 4 washers. Okay, so we have increasing force on the car. So that's part 1 of our Hot Wheel lab. In part 2 of the Hot Wheel lab, I'm going to keep the force on the car the same the entire time. So I'm going to have 3 washers, okay, on my paper clip, so that pull that's on the car is going to stay the same throughout the experiment. Okay, this time what I'm going to change is the mass of the car. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a washer, I've got tape on the back of it, and I'm going to tape that washer to the car. Okay, I'm going to mass it, and then after I've massed it, okay, I am going to run my experiment again where I release the car, I start the timer, okay, as the car travels down the length of the meter stick. Okay, I stop it when it gets to the end point. Okay, so I let go. Woo! Okay, it flies down. Okay, and I get the time it takes for the car with one washer on it to travel, okay, that particular distance. From that, we're going to calculate the speed and then the acceleration. Okay, then I'll add a second washer. So I put a second washer on top. I'll mass it. Okay, I record that mass. I come back, I put the car back in place. Okay, again, I let the car go. I record how quickly the car gets from the beginning, where its velocity is 0, okay, to the end of the table. Okay, I'll repeat the process with 3 washers and then 4 washers. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the basic procedure for today's Hot Wheels lab. I'm sorry you're not here to actually do the lab with us, okay? But I hope that helps clarify what we are doing in our lab today. Part 1, we're investigating the effect of increasing the force or the pull and how that's going to affect the acceleration of our Hot Wheel car. And then in part 2, we're increasing the mass by adding more washers to the top of the car, and we're seeing how that affects the acceleration of the car. In the second case, we're not changing the pull, so the pull is staying the same. We're leaving 3 washers on the whole time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's a recap of the Hot Wheels Lab. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.